Sheldon, how you doing, man?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I guess that's actually the question. How are you doing? How are you feeling coming back from that injury to end last year?
I'm good. I think each day I feel a little bit more and more like myself. Even on the first day out there, like I was doing things that kind of surprised myself sometimes, just from like the comfort level I was doing them at, the explosion level I was doing them at. So um, each day I'm taking steps, but definitely starting to get into that old bag of who I used to be.
Questions from Caroline Gonzalez.
Hey Sheldon, 2 years of injuries now. How do you keep yourself mentally prepared and mentally like on top of your game? Because obviously you're used to the physical standpoint, but mentally, how do you keep yourself confident?
I won't sit here and act like it's not tough. It is. I mean, um, just speaking from personally, like when the first injury happened, uh, I was pretty much starting to come into where I felt like I was hitting my stride in this league and becoming the player I always wanted to be. So uh, for that injury to kind of knock me down and then kind of have another one follow it up rather quickly, um, it has been tough. But at the end of the day, this is great training staff here, great teammates, great support system at home. So I've been able to not only do this myself, but I've been able to lean on others throughout the entire process, and they've continued to instill in me that eventually I'll be the player who I want to be, who I was before, even better. I just got to continue to trust the process, continue to work, and all will take care of itself.
Next questions from Kat Terrell. Kat, I think you might be muted. You can come
I'm
back.
sorry, I'm always the one with problems. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay. Well, I was saying, first of all, it's great to see you. It's been a while. But I was just wondering what happened with that injury last year. Do you think your Achilles injury contributed to something eventually just kind of giving way?
No, so the medical term for it is I had a uh, Haglund's deformity. It's like an extra bone growing off the heel, and it was essentially slowly but surely pushing my Achilles off the insertion point. So um, it wasn't a matter of if I was going to tear it; it was going to be a matter of when. That's just kind of the that's just kind of how severe mine had gotten. So it really just became a point of um, do I fix it now and start the rehab, or do I try to play on it, try to salvage what's left of the season, and potentially tear it and have to go through a whole Achilles repair rehab again. So that's pretty much what it was. I don't think the other one contributed to it. I kind of had the same thing on that side as well, the same deformity. So it was just pretty much a matter of time was when I was going to need to fix it. I knew I'd had it since probably college. Like I'd always felt kind of, something back there, but you know, wasn't to the point where it was going to slow me down or prohibit me from doing what I needed to do. So it really just got to that point where it was no longer, we could get it to the game and I was going to be able to flourish. It was at the point where anytime I would push off or do anything explosive, uh, it literally felt like it was going to tear. So it was just at the point in time where needed to get it fixed so I can get back to playing the style of ball I know I can play. And any athlete will tell you, if you're going out there and you don't feel like you can do the things that you know you can do, um, that puts you in a dark place. So I just wanted to be able to get back to my happy place, essentially, being able to be disruptive and play great football.
Next question is from John DeShazer.
Sheldon, when you're going through the process, what are the benchmarks you look for in recovery that says, okay, I'm on track. I feel like I'm gonna be exactly what I was or what I think I'm gonna be.
Yeah, so obviously it starts, from the medical side. just making sure it's healed properly in the correct positions. There's no, everything's where it needs to be. And then from that standpoint, it's about strengthening. My teammates will tell you I lift heavy. So for me, I just need to be able to lift heavy. Like if I can go in there and, I think this, during this rehab, I got up to, deadlifting, 700 pounds for multiple reps. So like when I can get to start doing those types of things again, that's when I know from a strength perspective, okay, we're getting there. And then from a movement perspective, I'm a I'm a upfield, twitchy, kind of guy. Like I'm not a guy who's gonna sit there. I'm not 320. I'm not gonna sit there and just, sit down the line of scrimmage and take on, double teams and not move. Like I want to get up the field. I want to be twitchy. I want to, get around corners, get around edges, spin moves. You guys have seen it. So, I once I can start working into some of that, feeling like my get off is strong, feeling like I can get off with Cam, I can get off with Marcus, Trey, those guys. Like feeling like I can hang with those guys and get offs and working moves. Like that's when I started to feel like okay, all right, we're kind of rounding into form. And then the last test is always like just got to push on somebody. Somebody's got to try to block you, and you got to be able to absorb it. Find the ball or go make a play. So, like I said, each day's been getting better. I feel like each day I take a step, and we're going to continue that trajectory. That's how it goes.
Next question from Amos Morale.
Yeah, Sheldon, kind of following up on that, was it more difficult this offseason to reach those benchmarks because of the restrictions with COVID?
No, not really. I won't say it was COVID. I think if anybody knows me and how I go about my business, worldwide pandemic aside, like I had business to handle. So, I was going to get it by any means, whatever it took. Nah, COVID didn't slow me down too much. It may have limited, certain days where I could get in the building and do certain things. But overall, was still able to kind of hit all my benchmarks, not necessarily always exactly what I wanted, because of the restrictions. But all in all, it's all come together very nicely, and we're just going to keep this thing rolling.
And then with, obviously I know getting healthy was your main focus, but improving is something we know that you always are focused on in the off season. How did you kind of balance, getting your rehab work in, but also, finding ways to get better?
Yeah, so for me, it's all about like I watch a ton of tape. Like I'm always trying to study and figure out, what's gonna work for me, what's worked for other guys, and if I can incorporate that into my game. And then also just looking at myself. I literally probably went back and watched myself from my rookie year all the way to now. So I've done a lot of self-study, done a lot of just critiquing myself and finding the better parts of myself throughout each year and trying to combine those and ultimately get back to being the player that I've always dreamt of being, because I haven't hit that plateau yet.
Guys, we have time for two more. Next question is from Andrew Doak. Andrew?
Hey, Sheldon, good to see you, man.
You too.
Two-part question for you. Follow up. You mentioned the deformity that you had that was kind of on both sides. It sounded like with the extra bone. Was that kind of a hereditary kind of family history type thing? Or just something that naturally developed?
Couldn't tell you. Like I said, I know I've kind of felt it since college. That's when I first started noticing it. But again, like it was just very faint. Never was a thing that really caused any, concern. But, the more and more I played, it started to bother me a little bit more. And then really once I tore this one, that's really when I found out all about it. Like, that I had the deformity, and then I most likely have it on the other side as well, because I had pretty much some of the same symptoms I was having on the left. And then we just tried to manage it. We just tried to treat it up as best as possible, limit reps in practice when I can, do certain, just try to get me to the game and have me feeling as fresh as possible, all the while still getting my work in through the week, but just being smart about it. But like I said, it just got to the point where I really couldn't get any work in, without being in a lot of pain. So we just kind of went ahead and made that business decision to go ahead and get it taken care of so I can come back and really be myself for this year and really try to put my imprint on this team again.
Because of the injury, were you able to rehab at the Saints facility even with all the craziness with COVID going on, or did you do that outside the facility?
Yeah, so I did some of it outside the facility. I would come back in and check in periodically. But once COVID kind of hit, I was already away. So, I just kind of got stuck there for a little bit. But pretty much once it got back to the nitty gritty of my rehab and really getting to it, I was back in the building with the staff and Cam and Marcus and Trey and those guys pretty much every day.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
Last questions for Amy. Amy?
Hey, Sheldon. Just some clarifying questions. So, obviously, this had gotten worse for you as time had went on, but when could you say enough is enough and you had to get it fixed?
Yeah.
Like, was it week 4 or the week that you stopped?
Yeah, definitely the week I stopped. I think early on we were kind of we were optimistic that we could treat it up and have me ready to play each week. Pretty much pain free, but it just wasn't the way it worked out. And then playing San Francisco, I just went to put my foot in the ground and just kind of felt something shoot up literally from that spot all the way up through my leg. And my initial thought was I tore my Achilles. That was my initial thought. But, I went to put my foot in the ground again. I was like, okay, it's not torn. I was like, but I can't keep doing this. So that's pretty much, when I saw the trainers, told them how much pain I was in. And then in the coming weeks, we decided, it was just better off to go ahead and get it fixed and get back and be ready to roll for the season.
And this won't be an issue for you ever again, hopefully?
Listen, fingers crossed. I haven't done that much research into it, but, all from what I've heard, it's handled, won't be an issue again. Let's go play ball.
Okay. Thank you, Sheldon.
No
Thanks for the
problem.
time.